a really good interrogator and someone that, investigates people and stuff like that? Or do I want to be known for something more like helping people? And so I really decided to go back to my roots and decided that, this is something that I wanted to do, is to own my own company. And you can jump in anytime, Chevelle. But the question was, right, how did you transition into that?
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, I'm just listening. I don't ever want to interrupt my guests because I want to hear the story.
Okay, well, I'm one of those people that I love to just keep it focused. So jump in anytime if you want me to transition into something else. But
That's cool.
one of the things, Chevelle, that I'm pretty happy about on how I did things was that, even though a lot of people were like, you should do this, you should be an entrepreneur, you should own your own company. I'm really glad personally that I didn't leap right into entrepreneurship, quit my good job, and just go into doing my own company. Because I tell you, for those of your listeners that are business owners, is that it's no joke.
Oh
It's
yeah,
no
you're
joke.
right.
Owning your own business is that I had very stressful positions, working in the prison system, working in the casino industry, responsible for a lot of stuff. There is absolutely nothing like owning your own business and being responsible for every dollar coming in. So made a really smart decision back then that I wasn't going to leap into it, is that I transitioned into it. So lots of sleepless nights, early mornings, is that I decided to basically start my company while I was working full time in the investigations world, and really start learning, training, and doing. The most important thing, doing and getting some money in, getting that confidence in that, what, hey, this is something that somebody resonates with. People will pay for my service and my products. And then after, I think it was about a year and a half after doing it part time while working with my full time work, I said, okay, I'm either going to do this as a hobby or I'm going to do this as the full deal. And so I had to make a hard decision because I loved my work in the investigations world, but I started this company for a reason. This was a passion. And so I set a date, which is very important for people that, are wanting to start their own business. You really got to set a date and hold yourself to it. And that's when I transitioned into working and doing this thing full time. So it's been about, yeah, just hit the 6 year mark the other day. So that's how I did it.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned about you transition. What about for those of us who do have a side business, but then of course working in the working world, the place is really bad per se,
Okay,
and they
so
how what advice would you give to us basically if we in a toxic environment and we haven't made revenue yet, but we have no choice but to leave the toxic environment? What would you say to that?
Okay, so you can't leave the talk. You cannot leave the work environment yet, but you have something on the side. So if you can't leave necessarily, then what I'm going to say is what I say to anybody that has, say, toxic family members or people around them that they can't necessarily just get rid of. Right? Is that you got to fill your life with inspiration. So you got to sort of put the armor on, as I say, Cheval, is that, the stuff that's coming into our heads, right? So people that are negative and judgmental, is that what are you doing? Number one is rituals to sort of like take this information, but not let it absorb into your brain, right? You got to kind of deflect it and understand that it's not you, it's them. And then what are you doing to kind of fill your life with inspiration? I mean, toxic environment, if anybody came to me and said that they are in this, I would definitely say, you know what, we need to come up with a plan for you to get out, because no one can really, rightfully stay in that kind of environment forever. But a lot of people do. A lot of people say, you know what, it's money, it's a job, and they're miserable for life. So I would definitely say that if you've got this part-time gig, I would definitely, number one, self-care, as far as taking care of yourself while you're working in this environment. And then I would be getting you very focused on your part-time work and say, okay, what do we need to do to oomph up that income so we can make a really smart plan, an exit plan? Make sense?
Yeah, it does makes a lot of sense. So So now, so did you had any doubts when while you were building your business? And if so, how did you overcome those doubts?
You know what? If anybody says that, you know what, they never had any doubts, I think they're lying. I think that everybody does, right? We question ourselves, you know what, and you know what, even though, I have done what I do for, what I do. I have done what I do for an awfully long time. Is that, you know what, entrepreneurship is hard. There's always challenges that come in. And sometimes, you know what, as an entrepreneur, and I don't know if people can put comments underneath this broadcast, but you know what, sometimes you question yourselves and go, you know what, maybe it's just easier for me to go back and get a full-time job somewhere and get my paycheck every 2 weeks, right? Is that
Hmm.
you constantly have to remind yourself of your why. You constantly have to surround yourself with people that are going to positively inspire you and push you. Even people like myself, that my job is to inspire and get people focused in their business and in their life, is that I think it's just natural. You know what I mean? So every once in a while, absolutely, something happens and you just want to throw in the towel right after a bad day. But then, you know what, you get a good night's sleep and you get up and you say, you know what, all right, let's do this. This is a brand new day. But yeah, anytime there's any sort of doubts, first of all, I question whether I'm just tired, right? Um, been working way too hard. And I make sure that I lean on the people in my tight inner circle, um, people that I trust, people that, you know what, are going to give me solid advice if I'm looking for solid advice, or maybe just a venting ear. So, really, really important to not just have people in your life, but to have people that are rock star people, like I say, people that you really trust, that are really going to have your back when you need them, that are there for you, not just during the good times, but also during the times that you're having a low time. Make
Oh
sense?
yeah, oh yeah, it does exactly. 100% agree with you because, and the thing is, for people that's watching this and who's going to be listening to this, the fact that Cynthia here has inspiring messages every day that it's like something that that inspires people to keep on pushing. And I can say that really has helped me a lot in a lot of ways every day, and it's just really cool to see that. It's like it's almost like if you're an entrepreneur and you might think of giving up, then you see these inspiring messages to remind you to keep going. That's the type of thing that can keep you to keep pushing on and keep on fighting, even if it seems dire per se.
Right. That's why it's so, so important not to isolate yourself as an entrepreneur. And it's really easy to do that, especially if you're working by yourself. If you work at home and you're an entrepreneur, is that sometimes it can get pretty lonely in those four walls, right? So, very, very important not just to sit behind your computer, try to figure out stuff all on your own, is that we all need help. We all need support. Even mentors need mentors. So, you know what, if you don't have a mentor right now, and I'm talking to everybody, is that I have my own mentors and I own a mentoring business. You constantly have to have mentors, but you got to pick the right ones in order for you to keep moving forward. You always got to have people that are going to help you learn, grow, and sometimes help bring you down when you're having those moments. You know what I mean? That you just want to throw in the towel.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So, of course, you've hosted your own live streaming show beforehand. So, question is, why do you think is important for entrepreneurs or anyone to jump into live streaming per se?
Yeah, you know what? I teach this all the time, and I'm passionate about this, so I'm glad you asked me that question. First of all, I would just say 100% if you're an entrepreneur, is that you're looking to get yourself out there, is that I believe video has to be part of the whole plan. Is that I hear it over and over, and you know what? I used to be one of those people that, used to get nervous in front of the camera. But there really is no like, you know what, I don't like to be in front of camera. I don't really like to get myself out there. That's one of those things that I encourage your listeners, I encourage all entrepreneurs. You have to get comfortable with being in front of the camera one way or the other. And how do you do that? You just start. Is that you hit that broadcast